Hi guys. Hey everybody. How you doing? I just thought I would take some time out to show you the book that I've been talking about. It's by Dr. Neil Barnard, and it's called The Negative Calorie Effect. And the interesting thing about this book is he's written many, and but the most interesting thing about the book is this. I had this book. It actually came with a kit that my parents had ordered to help them stop smoking. It was a video which included this book. And, well, I never smoked, but I remember decades after my father passed away, I remember going through, when you're spring cleaning. Well, I remember going through all the cupboards and finding that video to help people stop smoking. And then I found this. I'd never actually seen the book before because it was tucked away. It was hidden. And I remember I was working overnights in a retail outlet at that time. And I was pretty thin. But I had been feeling uncomfortable, and I had been dating a guy who loved to take me out to dinner, and we used to go for Chinese food and, go and eat at the keg and steaks and burgers and whatever have you. So, I was at the point where I was like a size 6, and I'm only 5'1", so a size 6 for a small, slim build is kind of pudgy. Or at least that's what I saw. And so, I made up my mind that I was going to go to the gym. Now, this was back in maybe May of 2002. And I remember around September, October, I broke up with this guy because he was just uh, a little out of my league. He was a little too much. He didn't want me to work. Something was wrong, and I didn't want to dwell on it. And, I just tried to break it off. And part of the reason was that he didn't want me to go to the gym. So, you know, I just did my thing and I let him go. I went to the gym every day. I was, I think, even in between jobs at that point. And I went and I worked out. I didn't lift weights, but I did everything possible to get back into the shape that I wanted to be in. Because some of my clothes, my size 4 clothes were getting to be too tight. And instead of throwing all those clothes out, they were cute clothes. I'm going to have to show you one day. I decided to change me, not my wardrobe. So um, between September of 2002 and January, February of '03, I became, you know how people drink and become alcoholics? Well, what do you call those people who go to the gym and go nuts about that? Um, it felt great. It was my little relaxation time after having worked so strenuously on all those jobs. I used to work quite long hours, and I had quite a few jobs over the past. It had been going on 11 years I had been working. And, I put everything into it. Whenever I do a job, I put everything into it. So I was maybe not stressed out, but burnt out physically. And I let myself go a little, you know. Um, you don't know what it's like to come home from work and be so tired after not having eaten in 2 days and fall asleep with salami in your mouth. So, um, I used to come home early in the morning, like 6:30, 7 o'clock from work, a.m., and fall asleep in front of I Love Lucy. I would eat salami and olives, and that would do me until the next morning. Oh boy, that was not healthy, but I was like a little toothpick. And so once I went between jobs, I started to feel the difference that if I wasn't moving constantly, my stomach started to bulge. That's what you get for being 5'1". So, anyway, I was going through my cupboards at home and I asked my mother, "What is this? Why have you been hiding it?" She said, "I didn't even remember it was there." And I pulled it out. And guys, this changed my life, literally. And I wish I could go back to it, but I tried it once or twice. It didn't work the same way it used to. Just look at all these beautiful things. And he goes over everything, like why chicken breast has fat in it, and he has shopping lists in here. Look at this. He has lists, food, percentage, calories from fat. Look at that. He really broke down everything. And so I remember taking this with me when we went to our beach house. And I would go over it at the beach. And that's why it's falling apart down here. And my mother and I would go shopping at night and I would pick up some things. And he actually has a shopping list in here somewhere. Look at this. I love this book. And all the recipes are incredible. He's got sample menus. And you know what I did? The ones that are highlighted are the ones that I ate all the time. I would just repeat all my favorite days. It would have been fine. And he tells you how to cook them, not to cook with oils, just use raw oil, maybe on top a little bit. Uh, it's incredible. Look, shopping list. He actually tells you what to buy. Isn't that great? I love this book. And so, once I found this book, it was the fall of 2002. I was hooked. I was obsessed. I became obsessed. And my mother used to tell me, why are you doing that? Why, you're not fat. You're not fat. And I told her, yeah, but there's something wrong. I don't feel right. And I want to be able to get into the clothes that I have. Because, when you're packing to go to a beach house, and my mom and I, after my father passed away, well, when he was alive, we used to go for about 3-4 weeks at a time. But when he passed away, my mother and I, we would stay 3-4 months. So bringing all those clothes that didn't fit, didn't make sense to me. And so, after I went to the gym, I used to do around 5-6 miles on the treadmill and the stepper together. I began in a very short time, like 2.5-3 weeks, to notice a great big difference in the way I was feeling and looking. I I was swimming in my clothes, my size 6 clothes to be exact. And I remember one day I was at the gym and there were cameras there. I don't know, something was going on. They were filming something. And then after they were packing up, a journalist came over and said, "Would you like us to interview you?" I said, "On what?" "Oh, on your workout and your weight loss." And I'm thinking, my weight loss? Who told you about my weight loss? But I declined. I was much too shy. I mean, I'm a very private person, but last thing I want to do is go blabbing to a journalist in an interview about these private matters. But here I am talking about it to you today. So I guess I've changed a little, haven't I? This book is still like a gem. It's still like a gem. And I have notes in here, how long to walk, 5 miles, 74 minutes. I would count the costera, the beach strip, the sidewalk along the coast. Well, this was it. I had it completely measured out. If I walked 74 minutes a day, not always all together, I would be okay. And then we had a gym in that condo. And so I was in seventh heaven down there. I had the gym to myself, late at night or early in the morning. Very few people would go. Because actually people who rented, they weren't allowed to use it. So very few people who owned did go to the gym. But then, we had tennis courts and other people preferred that. But I didn't like tennis. I liked this. I liked walking and going to the gym. And, again, those were happy times for me. And then I remember before my mother and I left that year in 23, I went out and I had to buy all new bathing suits, mainly because my old ones were all worn out with the chlorine. And I really don't like the chlorine. I prefer to go in the salt water in the ocean. But either way, your bathing suits get really damaged. And I remember buying this over there when I lost all my weight. That suitcase is filled, filled to the brim with little skirts like this. If my cat would like to leave my bathing suit strings alone, I can show you. You see how cute? And then the bathing suit to match. When she gets in these moods, I could just scream. And, I could just show you so many, but maybe that I'll save that for another video. But I'm just saying that, the staples of the diet are kidney beans, chickpeas, and rice. I mean, let's look at the menu. I hope you can see it. Oatmeal, grapefruit, soy milk, which I'm not keen on. I always skip that. Carrot sticks, banana. CLT is a cucumber, lettuce, and tomato sandwich with lettuce, not bread. Pear, apple, Melba toast. And then for dinner, baked beans, potatoes. Yes, could have potatoes. Black beans, salsa, brown rice, broccoli, and spinach with lemon. Look, guys, how simple can that be? Those are the menus, that the ones that are highlighted in green, those are the ones that I did every day. Lentil soup. Oh, I love that soup. Baked potatoes, cauliflower, and carrots. So what did I do? I just put all that in the lentil soup, and I ate it like that. It was so easy. And I loved it. I mean, I would come home from the gym late at night, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and that's what I would have. I would blend maybe a strawberry and a quarter of an orange and drink that at the gym all day with water. And I was never hungry. But then, it gets hard to follow something like this when you're traveling. So I still followed it as best as I could. And my favorite soup in the restaurants at that resort was a soup. It was called sopa de tortilla. And it had tortilla, chips, cheese, vegetables, beans, cheese. It was incredible. It was so delicious. And after a whole day at the beach of just eating some of these things, fruits, and maybe a light snack in the afternoon, if I was hungry, I would go out with my mother and have that. It was a restaurant that was sort of attached to the Walmart that they had there, very close to our place, very close, 5 minute walk. So, guys, I guess um, maybe because I don't have the beach house anymore, is it that I'm not motivated? I don't know. I tried to follow this again recently, but I don't know what it was. I was too distracted, and I guess it brought back a lot of bad memories, so I quit doing it for a while. But I think I'm going to pick this up again. And uh, a big shout out to Dr. Neil Barnard. Um, 20 years and it's still going strong for me, at least. I love this diet, and I would really recommend that you check it out. And he's got other diets and other books out as well. So if you're ever wondering how to change things up a little, why don't you give this a shot? Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. And I hope you enjoyed the video and are able to take something away from it. Um, Thanking all my new subscribers, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night. Take care. Bye bye.